Welcome back to Take Two. Well, Hawaii has seen historic low unemployment rates this year. Just in April, the seasonally adjusted rate was at a record 2%. Now, while that signals good things for our economy, it also means businesses are having a tough time finding employees. So how do these businesses go about hiring and keeping good workers under these circumstances? With some helpful tips, we're joined by Eric Chester, author and speaker on employee engagement, and Ben Godsey, president and CEO of Pro Service Hawaii. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to have you guys here this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, so first question. I mean, obviously, low unemployment sounds like a really great thing here in Hawaii, but what does that mean for local businesses? How can they attract and keep their employees?
Yeah, it sounds great, but it really is a big challenge for employers. And so what employers have to do is they have to do a little bit more in terms of going beyond just what's the salary and what's the position. And one of the things that we find works for us and works for our clients is to think about what they can do that stretches the dollar in terms of engaging their employees and working on what their employer culture is like, and really advertising and talking to prospective employees about here's what you're really going to get as an employee when you come to our unique workplace.
Right. Because once you lay it out on the table, if they know what they're getting themselves into, more likely that they're happy going into it and know what to expect. And I think that would make them stay longer, right? That makes sense. All right, so what are some of the things that employers are looking for today that might surprise an employer?
I think the employment scenarios change. The good news of a bad economy is that there's a lot of employees out there, but now you've got a fully deployed workforce where everyone who really wants a job has one. So now employers have to be, more diligent in terms of their workplace culture. So they need to understand that the new emerging workforce is looking for more than just a paycheck. Although compensation is important, they want various aspects in their job. They want to know, am I learning anything here that's going to help me grow within your company, or maybe even help me, in another career pursuit? Is there an environment here that makes me feel good when I come to work? Does somebody really care about me? Do they know who I am outside of work? Do they realize, I got to take my kid to soccer practice on Thursday afternoons and I might need to leave early? And so some of those things is just adjusting the culture instead of just saying, hey, this is the way when the labor force was when I came into it, so I'm just going to manage them the way I was managed. They really have to be more relational, I think, as Ben would put it.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Very cool. Okay, so providing attractive benefits, of course, can also really be an important part of the equation, but it can also mean then a big financial commitment. So how do employers navigate really providing those benefits and then also already, of course, having to deal with the high cost of business? How do they kind of balance that out?
Absolutely. And, what we find is that oftentimes employers just look at the cost of benefits, but what you also have to look at is the cost of turnover in your employee workforce. So if you lose an employee, it will cost you at least 30% of that employee's annual salary to replace that employee in lost productivity and in the cost of training that person to get back up to speed. And so that's a huge cost. And so if you have a benefits package that attracts and retains that employee, that keeps them in that job maybe just a little bit longer, you can have a huge impact on your overall bottom line. And so what we find is that we recommend that employers look at services that can help them pick the right benefit package and also negotiate the cost of that. Our business does HR services for Hawaii employers, and so certainly we're one of those options.
Wow. Okay, that's wonderful. I didn't realize that's such a big loss. 30% of an annual salary.
That's the minimum.
Oh my goodness, minimum. Okay, and so especially for then local businesses here in Hawaii, are there any services or benefits that they should be specifically looking for?
Well, I think they need to be looking at, again, outside of just compensation, because compensation is a big part, but it's not the only part. As long as employees feel like they're getting paid fairly, in other words, somebody in my position for another company is making about what I'm making, and maybe what I call fair plus, maybe just a little more, they check that off their list, and then they begin to look at other things. So employers here need to go, am I growing my people? Are they learning something new every single day. Whether that's something here that's going to make them a better employee here, but something that's going to add to their career trajectory. Are we giving them some autonomy? Nobody wants to be micromanaged, regardless of what position you're in. So it's not, hey, just do as I tell you to do and keep your nose to the grindstone. It's, we're going to give you a chance to make some decisions here. So some of those kinds of things really factor in. The flow of communication, and one thing we can't forget is acknowledgement. Everybody wants to know whether or not they're doing a good job. Yeah. It used to be just, you know, a 90-day performance review or an annual performance review. Now you're dealing with a generation that's gotten consistent review when they play video games every couple of seconds. They want to know, I made you a cup of coffee, did you like it? They want to know continuously. And the good news is they also want to know when they've got to correct their behaviors. So just that more relational type of employer-employee relationship is going to keep people in their jobs longer and make them want to produce as entrepreneurs, not necessarily, I want to go and own my own business. I want to work for you the way I would work if I owned the company.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your insight. I feel inspired almost. I'm like, yes, companies. But yeah, thank you so much. And again, I totally agree. And I think with social media these days, too, you know, you're hearing so much about other people's jobs and if they're happy or not, you know, it really makes you want to look for that as well, too.
Can I just add to that? You know, some of the other things that we see a lot of clients doing and having great success with is connecting with a cause in the community. And so if you connect with a cause as an employer and you allow your employees to participate, you know, in some philanthropic efforts, that will connect them to you as an employer and retain them. That's a real benefit. Flexibility in the work schedule is one that we all need. The modern workforce, you know, taking care of kids, taking care of our kapuna, you know, those things matter and are necessary for, you know, for employees to be, you know, to feel like they can succeed in both.
They're big in our community and definitely big for each individual. All right, well, thank you so much. And again, we can find you guys at proservice.com.